Meme coins, huh? They're everywhere these days.
Yeah, they really are.
I mean, look at Pepe.
Right.
Third largest out there.
Yeah.
With a market cap of 8.8 billion.
It's crazy.
It's insane. But what happens when all that hype dies down?
Well, that's the challenge with meme coins, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've seen so many just kind of fade into obscurity.
Totally.
But there are some that are trying to evolve.
Okay.
And I think that's where Pepeto comes in.
Okay, Pepeto. So that's Pepeto for
Right.
those who are, in the crypto world.
Right, right.
It's aiming to be more than just a fad, more than just a passing, quick buck kind of thing.
Yeah.
We've got some research here.
Okay.
Price predictions, their roadmap, even a deep dive into their tokenomics.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to unpack all of that.
Right.
But I think the real question that we're trying to answer today is, can Pepeto transcend this meme coin label?
Right.
And actually build something that, has some staying power?
Yeah, for sure. That's the big question.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Where do we even begin?
Well, the interesting thing about Pepeto is they're creating a whole ecosystem.
Oh,
It's not just launching a token.
right.
They're building a platform
Okay.
with some pretty, I think, interesting features.
Yeah, the zero fee exchange.
Yes.
That really caught my eye. I was like, zero fee.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty bold move, especially when it comes to meme coins, which are known for, well, let's just say, a lot of trading activity.
Yeah, for sure. Meme coins are definitely known for their volatility and their active trading communities.
Yeah.
I think it's a strategic move by Pepeto to try and attract users, right? Stand out from the crowd.
Yeah.
Zero fees could be a huge incentive for people who are looking to kind of hop between different meme coins.
Yeah.
Definitely, quickly, easily, without having to worry about those fees eating into their profits.
Totally. And then on top of that, they're also building a blockchain bridge,
Yes.
which I'll be honest, when I first saw that, I was kind of like, oh, what is that?
Right.
A little intimidating, but from what I understand, it's all about making it easier to move your assets between different blockchains.
Exactly. Yeah.
Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Think of it like, you've got tokens on one blockchain,
Right.
but you want to use those tokens on another blockchain.
Okay.
And the blockchain bridge acts like a secure tunnel. Really.
Okay.
That allows you to lock your tokens on the original chain
Okay.
and then have equivalent tokens minted on the new chain.
Okay.
So it's all about this kind of seamless interoperability.
Okay, that makes way more sense. So it's kind of like, when you travel to a different country, you're exchanging currencies.
Right.
It's like that, but for crypto.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great analogy.
Okay, awesome.
It just removes that friction of having to, go through complicated processes to transfer your assets between these different blockchain ecosystems.
Right. Perfect. Okay. And of course, we wouldn't be talking about a true crypto project if there wasn't a staking platform, right?
Oh, for sure.
Got to have that passive income.
Passive income is always a good thing, right?
Yeah, always tempting.
It's a popular mechanism in the crypto world, and Pepeto's definitely tapping into that.
Yeah.
But what's interesting here is that they're allocating a significant portion of their token supply. We're talking 30% specifically for staking rewards.
Whoa. Okay.
So that's a strong incentive, I think, for holders.
So they're putting their money where their mouth is.
They are.
And speaking of money, they raised over $3 million in their pre-sale.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That's got to be a good sign, right?
It definitely suggests, I think, strong initial interest
Yeah.
and belief in the project.
Okay.
People are clearly willing to put their money down, even at this early stage.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a positive indicator.
Okay, so overall feeling, are we talking hidden gem here? What are we thinking?
Well, I don't know if I'd call it a hidden gem just yet.
Okay.
I think we've got a lot more to unpack.
Right.
But I think the early signs are promising,
Yeah.
Pepeto's efforts to build this robust ecosystem, attract users with features like the zero-fee exchange, the staking platform.
Right.
It suggests a strategy that goes beyond just hype.
Yeah, and that's what's so interesting to me.
Right.
It's not just another meme coin, just riding the wave.
Yeah.
It feels like they're trying to build something a little bit more substantial, but the question is, can they actually deliver?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
I think to answer that, let's dive into their roadmap
Okay.
and see what they have planned.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about how Pepeto is really trying to break the mold here.
Yeah.
Go beyond, your typical meme coin chaos.
Right.
But let's get down to the specifics, like what does their roadmap actually look like?
So they've got some pretty ambitious goals lined up, especially for 2025.
Okay.
We're talking publishing their smart contract,
Okay.
getting listed on major exchanges, Launching both the bridge and the exchange, at least in their initial testing phases.
Okay.
And of course, rolling out that passive income mechanism that we talked about earlier.
Wow. That's a lot to pack into 1 year.
It is. It
It's
is.
like they're hitting the ground running.
Yeah, it definitely shows a commitment to action, which is,
Yeah.
it's refreshing to see in the meme coin world.
I'm curious, though. I mean, a lot of these features, like the zero-fee exchange, the blockchain bridge,
Yeah.
they seem pretty complex. What do we know about the team behind this?
That's a great question.
Like, can they actually pull this off?
And to be honest with you, our sources don't provide a ton of detail
Okay.
about the team's background or expertise.
Okay.
But that's definitely something to look into further
Yeah, right.
if you're considering, investing or anything like that.
Okay. Noted. Due diligence,
Yeah.
always key,
Yeah.
especially in the crypto world.
Always, always.
But they did have those audits, right? By CoinSalt and SolidProof.
Yes, absolutely.
Those are a big deal.
Those are a big deal. They provide that level of transparency
Yeah.
and that third-party validation that you don't always see
Right.
with meme coin projects.
It's like a stamp of approval.
It is.
Like, hey, we've been vetted. You can trust us, at least to some degree. There.
Exactly. It helps to build that confidence and legitimacy,
Okay.
which is so important for attracting serious investors and users.
So let's say, for argument's sake, everything goes according to plan, right?
Okay.
Pepeto hits all of their milestones.
Right.
Their platform is a success.
Yeah.
What does that even look like? Like, what is their end game here?
Well, I think if they can attract a large and active user base,
Right.
Pepeto could potentially become kind of a hub for the meme coin market.
Okay.
Right? Think of it as like a central platform where new meme coin projects launch, trade, interact.
Okay.
They could even leverage their blockchain bridge to connect different meme coin ecosystems.
So they're not just building a platform for themselves, but they're trying to be like the spot.
Yeah.
For, the entire meme coin space.
It seems that way. It's a bold vision.
It is.
But if they execute it well, it could be a game changer.
It's definitely a fascinating concept.
For sure.
Meme coin going into something much bigger.
Yeah.
But even if they build it, will people come?
Yeah, I mean, that's always the challenge, right?
Right.
Meme coins are inherently driven by hype
Totally.
and community enthusiasm, so Pepeto needs to find a way to sustain that excitement
Right.
while also delivering on the utility they've promised.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to bridge two worlds.
Yes.
The fast-paced,
Right.
speculative nature of meme coins, but then also the kind of stability and functionality of a more established crypto project.
Absolutely.
Do you think they can strike that balance?
It's a tough needle to thread, right?
Yeah.
Because meme coin investors are often looking for those quick gains, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas users of utility-focused platforms
Right.
are looking for that long-term value, that functionality. So Pepeto needs to appeal to both.
It's a tightrope walk, that's for sure.
Yes.
Got to keep that meme coin energy going, but also convince people that this is more than just a fad.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, we can't forget about the volatility of the crypto market in general.
Of course not.
Even if Pepeto executes flawlessly,
Right.
there are these external factors at play like market sentiment, regulatory changes, all this stuff that we can't predict that could impact their success.
Absolutely.
So what's the takeaway here for our listeners?
Yeah.
How should people be thinking about Pepeto at this point?
I think the key is cautious optimism. Pepeto has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
But it's still early days,
Right.
They need to prove that they can deliver on this ambitious roadmap
Yeah.
and navigate the challenges of the meme coin market.
So don't go all in just yet,
Exactly.
but keep an eye on them.
Keep an eye on them, do your own research, don't get swept up in the hype, and remember, never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Words to live by, seriously.
For sure.
Okay, so that brings us to, I guess, the elephant in the room here.
Yeah.
Those price predictions. I know people are dying to hear about those.
I know. We got some numbers from our sources, but, we need to approach these with a healthy dose of skepticism.
Right.
Predicting the future of any crypto, let alone a meme coin, is incredibly difficult.
Oh, for sure. But, humor us.
Okay.
What are we looking at?
All right, so one source predicts an average price of 0.0000006237 in 2025, with a potential high of .00000007128.
Okay.
And they even go as far to suggest it could reach .000003564 by 2030.
Wow.
But again, these are just projections
Of course.
based on various factors. And the market, it
Oh,
can be
well.
incredibly unpredictable.
Oh, for sure. So potential is there,
Yeah.
but no guarantees, which I think is a good point to transition into the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
The future of meme coins as a whole.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because Pepeto's journey is fascinating in itself.
Right.
But it also raises questions about, like, where is this entire meme coin space headed?
Right. Exactly. Is this a sign of things to come?
Yeah.
Are we seeing meme coins mature, evolve?
It feels like it.
It does. It's
Yeah.
an interesting trend.
That's what we'll be exploring in the final part of our deep dive.
Yes.
We'll zoom out a little bit,
Okay.
look at the broader implications of what Pepeto's trying to do
Right.
and what it could mean for the future of these, meme coins.
Sounds good.
We've spent a good amount of time now just looking at Pepeto,
Yeah.
exploring their plans, their potential, all that.
Right.
But I think stepping back,
Yeah.
what does this story tell us about kind of the bigger picture of meme coins in general?
Well, for a long time, meme coins were seen as just purely speculative,
Right.
driven by hype.
Oh,
Often, the value was really fleeting.
Yeah.
But projects like Pepeto are trying to change that.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, hey, we can be fun,
Right.
but we can also be functional.
Exactly.
They're embracing that meme culture,
Uh-huh.
but at the same time, trying to build something with real-world utility.
Yeah, and it's an interesting development, right?
Okay.
Like, are we seeing a shift in the meme coin market?
Yeah.
Like a move from pure speculation to something more sustainable.
All right.
Something that can actually, outlast that initial hype.
It feels like it, right? It's like
Yeah.
meme coins are growing up a little bit,
Yeah.
realizing they need more than just a funny name
Right.
or a viral meme to actually stick around.
Exactly. And I think that raises an important question.
Okay.
For anyone who's interested in this space, like, what separates the contenders from the pretenders?
Right, right.
What should you actually be looking for when you're evaluating these, next-gen meme coins?
Okay, that's a big one.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about Pepeto, their features, their roadmap.
Right.
Is that enough?
Well, I think first and foremost, you have to look at the team
Yeah.
behind the project.
Okay.
Who are the developers? Who are the marketers? Who are the community managers?
Right.
Do they have the experience, the expertise to execute on this vision?
Yeah, because a fancy website and a white paper, anyone can put that together. Right?
Exactly. But can they actually deliver?
Yeah.
You want to see a track record of success.
Right.
You want to see a team that's passionate,
Yeah.
committed to building something, meaningful.
Okay, so beyond the team then, what about the technology?
Yeah, the tech has to be sound.
Okay.
Is it innovative?
Right.
Does it actually solve a real problem?
Yeah.
Or is it just, smoke and mirrors
Right.
designed to lure in unsuspecting investors?
So we can't just get caught up in the hype.
No.
We've got to actually look under the hood,
Yeah.
see if there's substance behind the meme.
Exactly.
Like, so team, technology, what else?
And then the community, right? The community is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, a strong, engaged community can make or break a meme coin project.
It's like that saying, if you build it, they will come. But in this case, it's like if you
Correct.
build it
Right.
and you have a passionate community,
Yeah.
then they will come.
That's it. A strong community helps spread the word, generate excitement,
Right.
provide feedback to the team.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
So we've got the three things here.
Yeah.
The solid team, sound technology, and then that thriving community.
Yeah.
But even with all that, at the end of the day, meme coins are still risky.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
You can't forget that.
We can't forget.
They're driven by hype and speculation.
Totally.
Values can fluctuate wildly.
Yeah.
There's always the chance of losing money.
So even if a project checks all the boxes, we've got to approach those investments with caution.
For sure, always do your research.
Yeah.
Diversify your portfolio. And never invest more than you can afford to.
Words to live by, people.
Absolutely.
Meme coins can be exciting,
Oh, yeah.
potentially lucrative,
For sure.
but definitely not for the, the faint of heart.
No.
So as we kind of wrap things up here,
Yeah.
what's the final takeaway?
I think it's an exciting time to be watching the meme coin space.
Okay.
We're seeing meme coins evolve,
Right.
trying to find that balance between, the fun, the viral nature that
Yeah.
drew people in initially,
Yeah.
but also the utility, the functionality that can actually give them staying power.
Like a coming of age story for meme coins.
It is. It is.
They're trying to figure out who they are,
Uh-huh.
what they want to be in the broader crypto world.
Exactly. And it's up to each individual investor to decide,
Yeah.
if they want to be a part of that journey.
Yeah.
But one thing is certain,
No.
that meme coin landscape is changing.
It is.
And projects like Pepeto are leading the charge.
Well, it's definitely a fascinating evolution.
It is.
We'll be here to keep you all updated, as always.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive
Absolutely.
into Pepeto
Yeah.
and the future of meme coins.
It's been fun.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Yeah.